MPC1 3.4.3 beat making. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Today I made a slap. It's like a R&B, chill, atmospheric. I don't even know what to call it, but that joint slap. So make sure you stay to the end. I ran it through the Roland SP404 MK2. We did some tuning with that. I added some KO2 claps in there from the KO2. I added a couple synths in there from the OP1 field. I cooked up this video and I let it run the whole 50 minutes. So make sure you chill, stay to the end. This joint about to go crazy. Only if you like chill type beats though. What's going on, guys? It's your brother O.T.G. The O.T.G's for Overtime Grind. Hardly seen, but I'm always around. And today I got my MPC1. And I think I went crazy, man. You know what I mean? I just loaded up a random drum kit. You know, I didn't even know what sounds were on here. You could see we auditioned them as we made it. We started with the drums first. I just felt the vibes, man. Sometimes you just gotta feel the vibes. You just gotta relax, chill. You know, I don't have the issues that people have with their MPCs, so I don't really, you know, you'll see this video. And then jam, flinch, flex, nothing. You know, I'll keep track of the tracks and all that for you. But, you know, I put it under a workload, this video. And I didn't have any issues, man. I actually really enjoyed this making of this beat. I hope you guys enjoy it too. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. Make sure you hit that notification bell. So right now I got it set. It's like at 84.5. That's what I have it set up. And we're working in a 2-bar loop right now. We at the bare basics. You know, we're going to start the drums from 2 bars and build it from there. Take our time, one sound at a time. So right now, I hit the timing correct. I'm going to turn up the groove a little bit, or the swing. I'm going to put it at like 57%. And now I'm going to touch that BPM. I'm going to hold shift and I'm going to turn my knob. That's what I'm doing now. And you know, you keep the points. That gives you a fine movement of the BPM. You'll see a lot of videos in a lot of places where people will just round the number off. But, you know, once you add a little swing, you get your BPM in a good pocket where the drums are sitting nice. You know, that small variation of a number is more human than anything. People don't just do anything at the same BPM. It kind of varies. So, you know, I like to leave the variable in there. I got my drums. What I'm going to do now is just go to a key group. I'm going to set up a key group and I'm going to look for a one-shot sound. You know, I'm going to go through my one-shots. I'm going to find some. If you guys don't have any one-shots, or you're lacking on your progressions or your sounds, go check out that O.T.G Stimmy Pack. That's how you can support the channel. You know, 40 plus gigs of expansions that I collected over the years. You know, you'll have to connect it to your MPC2 software and then export it out. That way it'll show up in your expansions. Bunch of one-shots, a bunch of progressions, all kinds of stuff. I'm going to show you how you can just get busy, man. You don't really have to have a lot of gear. You just got to have sounds. So right now, I'm just looking through random one-shots, but I'm going to load these one-shots into my key groups, into the key group. And the new key groups are extensive. There's a lot of stuff that you could do in those key groups on the MPC1 software, 3.0 software. But I'm not going to get into that extended key group aspect of it. What I'm going to do is utilize key groups for what they're for. to be able to play one sound up and down in octaves or semitones, like putting it on your keyboard versus loading it in a drum kit, and it's more playing it as a sample. When I'm loading these sounds up for my key groups, what I like to do is I like to just go ahead and load a couple up. It's an efficiency tip for some of you guys. I might load 3 or 4 of them up, so then that way when I go over here, to my program edit, I could just try different sounds. We always got to go and turn the note on, turn it to one-shot mode so it'll play. Use your banks to move yourself up and down and transpose notes. So now I'm going to go over to my notes mode, go over to my progressions. You could go cop those progressions right from the link below. Everything that you see, you could go get it. It's for sale and cheap prices for you guys. I remember just starting out on my MPC or having hard times in producing, period. And sometimes you want to have a lot of sounds so you know what to do with the sounds. Like, not everything is just looping stuff up and chopping it down. I would implore you to get creative with your from scratch beats, from 2 bars up. That's how we gonna build this. I'm gonna do everything by ear. I'm not gonna worry about what key we're in. I'm not going to worry about the pitches. We're just going to play it all by ear. That's part of the love of hardware. You could, when you're on your MPC, when you're on your KO2, when you're on your SP404, you have the abilities to bend the rules and just play it by ear, where sometimes on the computer you might really just always try to stick to the rules. Today we're going to bend a couple rules and we're just going to go with what feels good. So right now I got 3 tracks, right? So I have 1 track, which is my drums, 16 sounds. We're using about 6 or 7 of those. I have 1 key group, and right now I just loaded in Sub Factory. I went over, remember when you go to your pad perform, if you switch to progressions, you're still going to be in progressions when you load something else up. You get what I mean? So you got to switch back over to pad perform. When you switch over to pad perform, it's still going to be in a C major, which means it's not following your progressions, but everything you play will still be in key. You get what I mean? Sometimes I don't know what bass I'm going to use, or if I necessarily like the sound of it in particular, but I might like the where the bass falls. So in this, I don't really like this bass, but I like it. I like it enough because it sparked an idea of where I want to put it, and it kind of gave me direction. So I could easily just make the beat with these 3 sounds, add a bunch of stutters, add this bass, and the beat's done. But we're not going to do that today. Today, I'm going to push the limits. I'm just going to create freely. So I like the bass right there. I'm going to add the bass right there, and then I'm probably going to go look for a different bass sound. I like it coming in that pocket. You have a part with no bass, and then boom, it comes on. Nothing. Bass. Nothing. I like that. So what I'm going to do now is go over, select the preset. We're going to just go through the presets, and I'm going to look for a bass that fits. I want something that fits in that pocket right there. You know, a little less distortion. I think that's what I didn't like about that last bass, is it had naturally too much distortion on there, and I could have went and took it off. But I'm feeling the vibes right now, see? I like the way it feels. And one thing that I tell my artists, I tell producers, I tell DJs, around here, if it provides feeling, then we rocking with the feeling, bro. You know, we don't want to spend all our time trying to fight the music. You understand what I'm saying? If it feels good, then why not go with it? You know, we have enough days where we might feel impartial. Life might be whooping our feet. You know, life stresses, whatever, and you're just not feeling it. So on those days, those are the days where you use your mind and make mental decisions because you've spent hours and hours on your MPC. But some days when you got the feeling, enjoy that feeling. That's the feeling of music creation. You know, and it's a blessing. I had no idea I was making this. You know, and that's the beauty of it. Creation, producing, composing, composition, all of those words. So right now we have our second plugin in. So we have two plugins, a key group, and a drum track. And this is Jura. I want something to kind of fill space. So what I'm looking for is an arpeggiated sound. And we're gonna play a riff. Sometimes when I'm pressing the pads like this, when you press it, you'll notice other pads light up. That'll tell you the pads that are in that scale. So what I'm doing now is we're going to turn our 2-bar loop into an 8-bar loop, and this is where we're going to add that variation in now, because everything else is just playing in 2 bars. But this riff is going to matter. It's going to drive the beat, believe it or not. It's going to take that 2 bars and make it feel like it's changing over 8 bars. Now, this is right off the top of the head. You know, sometimes you gotta find it. And what I want to do when I'm playing this is kind of progress. So see, I'm slowly progressing up the pads. And because I want the human feel, I don't really want it to be 100% on beat. I'm not going to go look at the grid on anything for the most part. However it plays, it just plays, and we're going to leave it there. You know, we could work around anything that's too far off or anything like that. So we're going to go ahead and housekeep, so when we get to our point of arranging. Now what I want to do is record in some of this OP1. I have the OP1 going through the looper going into the KO2, the KO2 going into the MPC into the SP404. The sound that you're hearing right now is going through the SP404, which only puts out at a certain audio rate. So, you know, we're not here for that, but that's what's going on. And I have in my preferences of my MPC, I have it set for the audio to merge. So whenever I create an audio track, I don't have to turn it to N, I don't have to do auto and arm it. It just automatically comes on with the audio playing. And the reason for that is sometimes I like to just load an empty audio track So whenever I want to try different sounds while I'm making a beat, I already am ready and can record them in, and I could hear them. This right here, I believe, is one of the greatest things that they added to the MPC. You know, once they added in the ability to sample directly to your track in real time, that's what sold me on the MPC3 software. And as long as that option works and I can get some stems or some 2-track audio files, I'll be all right, because, you know, I believe that the MPC is one of the greatest tools out there for the type of producing that we do. And I'm not MIDI synced. So now we have this audio coming from the synth inside the OP1. A lot of people hate on the OP1 field or teenage engineering gear. They think that it's niche. They think that it's limited. I believe that OP1, just for the fact of the synthesizers and the sound capabilities alone, is worth the money. How small it is, how, you know, you can get creative. It sounds really good. It's a lot of different things with it that I really enjoy it. And I have the KO2 out because with their new update, the Knockout update, I'm slowly learning the new gear. But the type of producer I am, I really like, and at this age, I like to just stick to what I know, really, you know. I'll adapt when I adapt. So right now, this is something that's new for this video. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. Make sure you hit the notification bell. What's not new is the fact that I am going to sequence this all out on one track by playing track mutes. So in the first 17 minutes, I already am at the arrangement point. You get what I mean? And you can see I got 5 tracks already. I believe when we're done, we'll have 9. You know, but this is something that I teach guys all the time. Like, you don't have to sit and make everything already. You know, get your loop and your whatever it is you're working on, get that to a point where you feel like you can't work at it in short form anymore. You know, you need to start hearing some of the arrangement, so that way you know where to come in and fill. And maybe that's not for you, but for me, the way my brain works, it works in processes. And so I still hear other sounds, but I can't get to that process of where they should go or what they are until I arrange it and I could kind of hear in totality what we're going to have. And then I can make the best decision off what we have laid out to what I want to do next. And I still know I want to do next. You get what I mean? In order to make this happen, I had to hit the little automation box in the corner, turned it on right. I just start, now I'm gonna turn it off. You see, so now that automation is saved. On your MPC1, if you hit the track mute button 2 times, it'll take you to the pad mutes. But what I want to do is I don't want to do pad mutes today. No, we're not going to do any pad mutes. What I'm going to do is supplement this drum kit by cloning it. So I hit the little plus button. We cloned it. So now we have 2 drum tracks, 1 key group, and 3 plugins. Or maybe 2 plugins right now. But what I'm doing now is I have my note repeat pinned. So double tap your note repeat fast, it'll hold it. And what I'm going to do now is fill in, F-I-L-L, fill in with some snare rolls. have my full level and half level turned off. That's the button all the way to the left, the top button. I have it turned off because in this instance, I want to play with the velocity by pushing the pad light and then pushing it harder as we get closer to where we want the snare roll to drop. So you can't see the pressure of how I'm pushing the pad, but you could hear it. The way you do this is once you have your arrangement, you could just come back and play over your full arrangement and add things when and where you want them. So now we're going to add this snare roll in. Boom. That's added. Remember what I told you, we aren't going to go look at the grid at all. That's what we're not going to do. I'm going to go ahead and add an EQ on this drum, on this drum kit. And I'm going to turn the highs, I want them pretty bright. So I want those hi-hats and different percussion to really stand out and kind of carry the beat. I'm going to turn my frequency down to 60, mess with my Q mess with my Q in the middle, and then boost the level of the bass a little bit. I'm gonna carve out some of those mids, that's what I'm doing. I did that. And so now this is the sound we have. Now what I want to do is I want to do some editing. So I want my kick to kick. So I'm going over and I'm pumping up my kick by, this is the drum effects. So I went to program, edit, the last tab, hit it twice, drum effects. So now I'm turning up the bass. I'm making the bass hit harder. Mess with the audio some. We're going to turn that pitch down so it's got more of a thump. And then I'm going to play with the volume some. We got a delay and a reverb are always and a lot of machines are built into your synths. So right now I'm on sample screen effects screen 1, the screen before drum effects. And I'm sending those snaps over to synth 1, which has a reverb on it. Now I'm going to go through and I'm going to add a couple effects, maybe. I'm definitely about to put EQ on the wrong channel, but it's okay. I caught it. We're just going to go to the next one. Leave it there. So this is our key group. What I want to do on the key group is carve out some of the mids and the mid lows and mid highs, the middle two knobs. Ease out some of the bass, so then that way everything else can sit in the mix, because that sounds kind of bassy. Turn all the hi-hats down to random volumes. All right, now I'm trimming the kick. So we're doing a lot of little small mixing things right now to buff up our sound. Now I'm just going through all of the different percussion and just turning the volume down to random places. We can always go back and turn it up, as long as we don't record that automation. Now I want to add in some hi-hat rolls. So I had turned it on a 16th and put on a triplet. And I'm going to do this in 2 passes. We're going to mess with the pitch of this one. Make sure that I got the pitch right, because that matters. And again, I'm not going and looking or trying to match. I'm just trying to follow that feeling. Still going through. I want to alternate between these two and make sure I have both of them in there, you know. And we're going to go through, play them, and then I'm going to come back and do it at a 30-second. This is part of why I did the arrangement first, because now I could come in and add these in random places and it doesn't sound so much like it's just a 2-bar loop. And this is on the clone drum kit. Got that in there. I'm going to turn it on a 30-second. We're going to get that rolling. Matter of fact, I might just even turn it up to 1,000 and put it on a 64th. I don't know how I feel about it, but I want it. So what I'm going to do is we're going to freestyle it. And the dangers of doing it this way sometimes is you could get all the way to the end, mess up, and you got a choice. You could either undo it or you could go in there and remove it by hand. Because I have this on a mute track, because it's on its own track, if I overdo it or mess up, we could just mute it. You get what I'm saying? But the other thing is we have other sounds playing, so we don't want to get it too bad. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. If you want to support this channel, check out the things I have over there at Gumroad. You know, I told you guys got to the end of the month and then the prices will go up on things. One thing that'll stay the same is the O.T.G. Stimmy Pack. I think you get about $200 in value for $25. This is my gift to you guys for supporting and just being good people, you know, good supportive community that we're building. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I wish you guys the best in everything that you're doing. And so, you know, this is my way of giving back to you and your way of supporting me. I don't take a lot of paid promotions. I try to do like games and other things outside of music as of right now. You know, I think the only thing I would be open to is Akai sending me a MPC1. I would definitely get with Akai and you know, be a brand ambassador for the MPC for sure. You know, but I don't think they choose guys like me, real musical guys. I think they choose more flashy guys. So, you know, to stick to the script, stick to what I know. You know, we keep the music independent and then we use everything else to support it. So that way we can make exactly what we want. We're not swayed, paid, or bought. You know, our creations pay us, and that's the way that we go, you know? So that's how you can help. Cash App, O.T.G. PayPal.me/overtime grind. Any donations. There are classes available. We go on Zoom. I can make a beat in front of you. You can make a beat in front of me. You can ask me questions. I'll show you how to do things. You know, I've got a couple students that I've been working with for a couple years now, and their growth is amazing. So, you know, that's the way you can support. Right now, I am recording in a pad from the OP1. You know, I want this to provide motion. This particular sound that I'm using, I'm pretty familiar with it. The more that you press things, the louder that it goes. It's like one of those synths that once you stop playing, it'll ring out for a long time. And I could definitely change the release. That's what the 4 knobs are. You know, we could change that and cap it. But I want the ambiance. I want the ambiance for this beat. I want that feeling for this beat. I want it to have that motion. You know what I mean? And this is what I feel at the moment. And also what this does is, again, you know, we arranged at 14 minutes. We're 15 minutes later, and we're still adding on parts over the whole arrangement. But, you know, like with sounds like these, like I said, they build over time. They cut at certain times. So this in itself adds some of that variation and movement to a simple 2-bar loop. Because that's how we started, you know? Now I'm going to go and turn all of my tracks input to audio. So now I don't accidentally hit a button or do something and that takes my mind off of it. You know, I only have the merge audio in because I have everything already pre-connected. But once we get to a point with the sounds that we're happy, you know, we turn that merge off and different things off, and we start to operate a different way. So now I want to add some variation in with that snap. I believe that's a finger snap. So I'm going to play one of the claps from the stock library of the KO2. I'm going to record that in over this particular beat and composition. I know things like this, I could easily got it and then copied and pasted it, but again, some of the notes are going to be a little off, some will be early, there'll be different places where, I might actually get it wrong, but I'll leave that in there. The thought process behind that is, we get our drums lined up and get them on point. We make sure that everything that is important is on the line and where it's supposed to be. And then when we come through with hi-hats and things of that nature, we want those to sometimes provide some feeling and kind of gel everything together, so instead of just having it playing a loop, you could go in there and record it in different ways, and that in itself will help drive the song forward. All right, so we got our claps now. I'm gonna turn it down. To add some, we're gonna EQ it a little bit. We're gonna run through, add some EQ on some stuff. That together, let's go ahead and add some strings. I was going to use studio strings, and you can see we're still pushing the limit, but instead I decided that I'm going to go with an oldie but goodie. I tell people all the time, just because the plugin is old doesn't mean that it's not good anymore. So Lena has killer strings. I selected the volume knob with my finger, and now I'm turning the volume up and down with the rotary knob or the menu knob. That's why you're seeing that happen. I'm going to do the same thing with the strings. I'm going to add it in different places with no real rhyme or reason, but the idea behind it is that I could go to, we can always come back and get it with the track muse. You get what I mean? And because my timing's at 1/16 or 1/64 triplet, because that's where I had it set when I was doing the note repeats. Where I play the pads, it could be a little bit off or a little early. Again, all of these things provide the human feel. When you know your drums are okay, you don't have to worry about that. As long as it's not too far off, all of that adds body and character. And man, if you... Never mind. A body plus good character sounds like a win to me. All right. I really like how this sounds. But now I'm starting to wonder, how would it sound if I recorded it to my SP404 and then I changed the pitch of the whole beat? Sit with it and just see how it feels. That's what I was doing. So right now, we gotta turn our automation back on. Right now what I'm doing is just recording the mutes in. Alright, now that we got that about wrapped up, right now I'm just looking for different effects. I'm going to try different things. Alright. We're still doing some EQing and different things. Getting it ready for the SP404 MK2. There we go. So we're SP bound. Now we got that set up. We're about to record. So we're recording this straight from the MPC 1 into the Roland SP404 MK2. Here's my thoughts, man. I believe that the MPC1 3.43 is a super stable build. You just saw what I did in it. We got 9 tracks, couple of plugins, like 4 plugins, 2 audio tracks, 1 drum track, 1 key group track. And out of that, we was able to make something that slaps. You know, we was able to speed up the BPM a little bit. We was able to add a little bit of swing. We was able to come back over our arrangement and record audio straight in. We were able to now record it to the SP. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn up the pitch some. And then I'm going to see what that sounds like. So we're going to go over the pitch and speed. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. I like 0.84, but I'm going to go up just to see what's above it, see how it sounds. Might be something better up there. And now I'm going to resample it back out. Going to add a little EQ. Going to pump it up a little bit. Make sure that it knocks. And then we're going to resample. So I'm going to let this roll out that way. Man, I appreciate you guys. Hopefully you found some value in this. Hopefully you appreciate me giving you an extended look from start to finish, working with one beat. You catch all the gems I've thrown your way. You know, it's a great weekend. If you celebrate Easter or any of that stuff, have a great weekend. Make sure you check out that masterclass. You know, I'm about to maybe Monday start the MPC3 masterclass. I'm going to make it separate than the 2 because the other one's a lot of 2.15 and it has a bunch of stuff from when it was in beta. So I think I'm going to start with an official MPC3, and the way that I do my classes and courses is I collect all the videos of me making beats in that, and then I put them in there, and then we separate them in different places. So then that way, you know, you can see all of the tips or get everything in real time. So a lot of my videos have more information in them than just beat making or tips. You can see it in real time, real life, not in little short things. And you can also see real life problem solving in real time. You know, I see the videos that people make, and you know, they cut out a lot of time to give you 10 minutes. We definitely will say that. So, you know, I appreciate everybody who watches my long form content. I appreciate everybody who's took the time to follow me at 365 O.T.G on all social media. I appreciate the people who have bought from the Gumroad store. I appreciate the people over at the Patreon who've been patient as I figure out what I want to give you guys. I appreciate the people who support my raps, who support my instrumental albums, guys who've bought merch, people, my students who get classes, people who have sent in gear. I appreciate every single last one of you guys. I'm thankful for you guys. Hopefully you're thankful for me, and you have a great weekend. You spend time with your family if you have one. If you don't have one, start one. If you had one and lost one, think about them and think about how you move, because they're with you every single day. I appreciate you guys. This was a great session. I really like this beat. Beats like these put me in a great mood. I like to do homework and drive and play it for my kids, and I like making stuff like this. You know, it's got a lot of usage. It's cool to make rap and trap and sample boom bap and all that stuff. But sometimes people like life music, and this is good life music. And guess what, guys? We got another one. And it's 50 minutes. And it's 50 minutes for you guys saying you don't do the hour videos. Here we go. We got another one. It's Big O.T.G.